My most vivid Pirate memory has to be Bill Mazeroski's home run sailing over this wall to beat the Yankees in the 1960 World Series. Hello, I'm Reg Cordick, and these ivy-covered bricks are just about all that's left of Forbes Field. They stand now as a symbol of tradition, because over the course of a century, the Pittsburgh Pirates have built one of the most colorful and compelling traditions in all of sport.
In 1887, Grover Cleveland was President of the United States. Pittsburgh was a bustling city of some 200,000 people, and a local baseball team called the Alleghenies officially joined the National League. The Alleghenies had formed in 1876, but their nickname didn't change until 1890.
The Pittsburgh team in that league was known to sign players from another league, and they were known as pirating these players. So as a Pittsburgh team got known as the Pirates, and it sort of stuck.
In 1891, the Pirates began playing in Exposition Park, near the site now occupied by Three Rivers Stadium. But the Pirates had little success until a German immigrant named Barney Dreyfus purchased the ball club and merged it with his Louisville team. Under new player-manager Fred Clark, the Pirates were National League champions in 1901, 2, and 3. And then Dreyfus made history.
And in 1903, Boston won in the American League and Pittsburgh won in the National League. And my father called Mr. Killalea, who was president of the Boston Club, and asked him if he didn't think it would be a good idea if they played a series. And that was the beginning of the World Series.
A one-page contract spelled out the guidelines for the first and only 9-game World Series. The Pirates went up 3-1, but Boston came storming back to take the next 4 games and capture the championship behind a pitching staff led by the immortal Cy Young. Despite the loss, Fred Clark maintained a standard of excellence. He managed the Pirates for 16 years and won more than 1,400 games and was inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame. Of course, it helped to have a player like Honus Wagner. Born in Carnegie, Pennsylvania, Wagner is considered the greatest shortstop of all time. He led the league in hitting 8 times, finished with a career batting average of .329, and was an original member of the Hall of Fame. With the Flying Dutchman leading the way, the Battling Bucks won a team record 110 games in 1909 and went to the World Series for the second time. Their opponents were the Detroit Tigers, setting up a confrontation between the 2 greatest players of that era, Honus Wagner and Ty Cobb. The 1909 World Series began at brand new Forbes Field, which had opened its gates on June 30th of that year. Built in less than 4 months in the Oakland section of Pittsburgh, Forbes Field was a marvel of its time, the first ballpark ever constructed entirely of concrete and steel. The teams traded wins through the first 6 games of the series, with Wagner batting .333 to Cobb's .231. Game 7 was played in Detroit, and the Bucks ran away with it. Both of Pittsburgh's home runs in the series were hit by player-manager Clark, but the real hero was a rookie pitcher named Babe Adams, who won 3 games, including the 7th, as the Bucks captured their first World Championship. Even with stars such as Wilbur Cooper, the team's all-time leader in wins with 202, it would be 16 years before the Pirates returned to the series. Meanwhile, the United States would enter a world war in which thousands of Pittsburghers would serve. While back at home, both coal miners and steel workers would engage in unsuccessful strike efforts. The world was changing fast, and radio was at the forefront. Pittsburgh's KDKA was the country's first station. And in 1921, a Pittsburgh-Philadelphia game called on KDKA by Harold Arlen was the first baseball broadcast. 1 year later, Bill McKechnie was named manager of a promising Pirate team with a young third baseman named Harold Joseph Trainer, more commonly known as Pie. The veteran leader of the team was Max Carey, a rugged outfielder and future Hall of Famer. In 16 seasons with the Pirates, Carey led the league in stolen bases 10 times. With future Hall of Famer Kai Kyler also emerging as a star in the early 20s, the Pirates were once again one of baseball's best teams. And in 1925, Pittsburgh won the National League pennant. The 25 World Series opened at Forbes Field against the defending world champion Washington Senators. Despite Max Carey's phenomenal .458 batting average in the series, the Bucks fell behind 3-1. But they battled back to win the next two, and then faced Walter Johnson in the 7th game at Forbes Field.
We got behind 4-0 before we recovered, and Walter Johnson was pitching against us. And of course, Walter Johnson was the greatest in the American League for many years. The big moment in the game was when we were tied in the 8th inning, and Kyler, our right fielder, was at bat with the bases full and 2 out, and he kept fouling off pitches. I'll never forget the anguish we went through when he fouled off all those pitches. Eventually, he hit a ball down the right field line, which was fair, and it bounded over in back of the canvas, and everybody scored. Well, of course, it was a ground rule, and they eventually put 2 men back on base. That made it 9-7 Pittsburgh. That's the way it finished.
Kyler's clutch hit made the Pirates world champions for the 2nd time. Pie Traynor also had a standout series, batting .346, but then Traynor stood out for 17 years as a Pirate player. His career .320 average was just one reason why he made the Hall of Fame, because Pie was also one of the best third basemen of all time.
The one saying that covered Traynor's fielding was, one of the writers coined this, so-and-so doubled down the third base line and Traynor threw him out.
Traynor led the Pirates back into the World Series in 1927, but standing in the way were Babe Ruth and the New York Yankees. Ruth and Lou Gehrig were their chief assassins in a lineup called Murderers Row, considered the best team ever. Ruth blasted the only 2 home runs of the 27 series, and the Yankees swept the Pirates in 4 straight games. And so at the end of their first 40 years, the Battlin' Bucks had been to 4 World Series and won 2, producing some of the finest players the game has ever known.
What is crack-a-lackin', everybody? And as you can tell from the intro, yes, we are doing another series here with MLB The Show. I love baseball. Baseball's always been my greatest. I was very, very good at it. Not very, very good, but I was good enough to get a tryout with the Mets back in 92, 93, somewhere around there. Couldn't hit a damn slider, but anyways. So, I like doing this kind of stuff. I don't think we're going to have the success with the Pirates as we did with the Orioles, I'm going to tell you. I was going to do the Portland Beavers, but I'm going to show you right now that we're going to look at the roster for the Beavers. They are just too damn good, and they have way too many potential guys. And I thought that would be a little too easy. So the much maligned Pirates, their last real big thrill coming when they had McCutchen and Josh Harrison, and they made the playoffs. Before that, it was when they had Barry Bonds. They had the great outfielder Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, who's still getting paid by the Mets for a couple more years, which what a contract he got, and Andy Van Slyke. And before that, it was Willie Stargell and We Are Family in the 70s with those gaudy 70s, but awesome 70s uniforms of the Pirates. And their success before that was, of course, Bill Mazeroski hitting that game, I think it was Game 7. Yeah, Game 7 home run. Him and Joe Carter are the only ones to end a World Series with a home run. Bill Mazeroski, most say he made the Hall of Fame because of that home run. So anyway, we're gonna look at the roster of the Pirates, and you can tell why I'm going to start with them. We have Jose Quintana, and much like in real life, he got traded. You can see right now he got traded to the Cardinals. That's why he's got the Cardinals look on him. He is 33 years old, so much like, and I believe he's been with the Cubs, the White Sox, and then the Cubs. And he had a fantastic year in real life this year. But here, we're going to do the same thing that the Pirates really did. You get a cheap veteran trying to bounce back, and then you trade them for some prospects. And that's what we're doing with them. We have Brubaker, who was supposed to be a very good talent, but it just seems like he's reached his ceiling. He's 28 years old. He's never been really good. He's got a nice pitch selection. He's got, I believe he's got some nice velocity and some strikeout. And for a strikeout pitcher, he's got some decent control. He's not horrible when it comes to that. But we're looking more at Roansy Contreras, who is 22 years old, B potential. Mitch Keller still has a semblance of potential. He is not a strikeout pitcher. He's more of a control pitcher, which is what I like, and that's what we're going to do here in this series. We're doing what the new money ball is going to be. I hate using the term money ball, but that's what everybody uses for unorthodox ways of trying to win. So our unorthodox way of trying to win is we're going back to roots. We're going to get guys that can hit and steal bases, not strike out. I don't care if they walk a ton, but I want them to put contact. When you put the ball in play, a plethora of things can happen. There could be an error. It can find a gap. You can move the runner over from from second to third. And of course, you can get into a double play. So that's the negative effect. But there's more positive effects than negative effects when you put the ball in play. I don't want to be the home run, strikeout, or walk. I don't want the 3 outcome scenarios. That's what we're doing. So in our pitchers, I want some good stamina. I want good control. I don't care if they strike out people, because what we're also going to do is get great defensive players in here as well. And we already have one. And that's Cabrian Hayes at third base, who his hitting is horrible, but, we're going to build different things around him so that we don't have to rely on his offense. Anyways, so we got Keller, who I really am going to give a nice leash. He'll probably be around for the length of this, because I'm hoping that control can get up into the 70s, maybe the 80s. I don't know, but I'm hoping it can get into the high 70s. And if that's the case, I'll be absolutely fine with him, because he's got, you can see his 72 home runs per 9. Beautiful. That is so beautiful. And Roansy just has to, he's got good break. Overall, I think he could be 70s in all of these. I think he could be 60s in control, maybe hit 70 home run per 9. Walks per 9, hopefully get into that mid 60s. And then, of course, in the 70s with the K per 9. His hits per 9 are pretty damn good. Now, Keller's is not, but again, if you have a good defense, that can kind of be negated, because those hits, those hits will be caught by the defenders. And now all those per 9, the hit per 9, the K per 9, walk per 9, home run, that's all for simulation. Okay? If you throw a gopher, if you have a 99 home run per 9 and I'm playing a game and I throw a gotcha pitch, a cookie cutter, as they call it, right down the middle, they're going to take you deep. So those per 9 are mainly for simulation reasons. The left, the brake, the control, the velocity, stamina, that's for gameplay. We have Dylan Peters, not really, he's a filler. He's a cheap filler. What are we paying him? $700K. We have Bryce Wilson. He's not going to get much better. I got Eichhoff in there in AAA if we need to bring somebody up for injury or ineffectiveness. The same thing with Kranick, who is pretty talented at 24, but he's got the same kind of ceilings as Bryce Wilson. What we do have is we have Quinn Prester. Quinn Prester, who we'll probably be looking at some of our prospects as we go along with this series, and we'll show you Quinn Prester and what he can do. Of course, some of these guys, most of these guys, I think Ujour 89 is his actual number, but with these high numbers, the spring training numbers as they call them, I tried to make them what they would be in the minor leagues. So I try to do away with those on every team. So you shouldn't see a lot of players that come up and they have the number 72 or the number 80. Then we have Tanaj Thomas, who is he from India? No, he's from the Bahamas. With a little work, he could go from a C to a B. I think he's pretty talented. He just needs to get that control. But I think he could actually get to the next step. Then we have Bubba Chandler, who is actually a two-way player. Let's see his attributes. Toggle. Yep, you can see his hitting attributes. He's already got some good power going on. But the thing is, with this game, you can't have a two-way player really in the minor leagues. It will not do a secondary position. I could play him at short in the minor leagues. It's not going to take effect until he comes into the majors. I don't know why that is, but he's a decent pitcher. We'll see what happens. He's a typical power pitcher. You can see. I believe I went and edited my rosters. I didn't put a lot of players under 30 for walks per 9. Simply because the whole stat thing is that I have a dead ball. The mound's raised about an inch. So strikeouts, walks are going to go down as home runs are going to go down. Triples are going to go up. Stolen bases are going to go up. Batting averages will be up. But there are some guys that are, Juan Soto, he's still got 99 discipline, so he's still going to walk a ton. But you're not going to see it like in real life. You're not going to see his totals be like 175 walks. But he'll be up there. He'll be up there about, maybe 150 walks. Then we have our bullpen, which are, these guys aren't great. These guys are not great at all. This bullpen's going to lose us a lot of games. And we really have nobody in the minor leagues. We really don't. They're all C-rated, but most relievers are C-rated potential anyways, because many of these guys are failed starters. They come up in the majors, they kind of fail out. The major league organization says, their third or fourth pitch is just not effective, so they move them into the bullpen where they can hide those deficiencies. And if they have two good pitches like Chase DeJong here, he's got a good fastball and a good slider, but his curve and his circle change aren't so great, then they become a reliever. But Chase DeJong, if need be, you can see his stamina 35, like I said in my 30-team control tutorial. That 35 stamina is a flag to me to say that this guy could be put into a starter if necessary. So if he's doing pretty good in the bullpen, and all of our guys, like we have Keller's not doing well, Peter's not doing well, Wilson's not doing well, and a couple of these guys in the AAA are not being very effective, then we're not going to call them up. We can make Chase DeJong, and if one of our AAA guys is doing pretty good, and then we have Heath Hembree who is absolutely horrid at 33, but this guy has kept a job for so long, and I don't understand why. He's never been really good. But hey, he must be great. He must be a great clubhouse presence because he keeps getting work. So 33 years old. This guy is 59 overall. This guy is going to be putrid this year probably. Then we have Sam Howard. Essentially, if he was a right-handed pitcher, he'd be out of the league by now. Aaron Fletcher the same way. He's left-handed. So we got our two lefties here. And then our most effective guys are all right-handed, I believe. Chase. No, Banda. We have Anthony Banda, who's got a Yankee uniform on. So apparently he wasn't with Pittsburgh, but anyone that was in the free agent pool, I just put on a team. So we'll see. Dwayne Underwood, he was with our Baltimore Orioles series for a while, and Will Crow is one of those failed starters because his slider and changeup are just not getting people out for the most part. Let's see. But then we have David Bernard. We're going to keep him around hopefully for a year or two because you just can't get rid of him because we really have nobody to put into that closer spot. And you got to have one decent reliever, But maybe next year. He's got renewal. So, yeah. So he'll probably be around until next year. And then 2024, we might trade him at the deadline to get something for him. Then we have our older, basically we just have old catchers. But we also have Taylor Davis from our Orioles franchise. He probably will not see the majors unless an injury occurs because we do have Andrew Knapp, who is our emergency catcher, he's on MLB right now because of spring training, but he'll be sent to AAA. But we're waiting for Henry Davis, number 1 pick in last year's draft. Yeah, we're waiting for him. It might take about 2 years. But other than that, and then we have Endy Rodriguez, but we might move him into the outfield. I don't think, he's not a very good catcher defensively. And we have Henry Davis, who's about the same age. So we might put Endy Rodriguez out in the outfield because our outfield is horrible in the minor leagues as well. We have Vogelback, who we're hoping, again, one of those cheap contracts. You can see he has a Mets uniform on because they traded him to the Mets. He's here for $1 million, trying to say he's better than a 200 hitter with 30 home runs. He might be in this league, but he's not going to hit as many home runs as he usually hits. Michael Chavez, nothing special. He's a first base, third base kind of guy. And we're basically platooning. So he bats left, and Michael Chavez will bat against left-handed pitchers. And they'll pinch hit for each other if the need arises. They're young, but I don't think any of them are going to be anything special. Then we have Kevin Newman, who is a very good defensive shortstop, but we're putting him to second base because O'Neal Cruz has stated, I want to be a shortstop. I don't want to be anything but a shortstop. And the Pirates ownership group is like kowtowing to this young player. Quite frankly, Newman might move back to shortstop if O'Neal Cruz falters. Then we have Josh Van Meter, another very nothing special guy that's on a cheap contract. We do have Tusapita Marcano. No, it's Tuca. He's Venezuelan, so that's not a soft C. That's Tucapita. That's the... he's named after the city in Venezuela. So Tucapita Marcano, 22 years old. He's one of these guys that I'm looking to promise. He's not a good home run hitter, but he's got good visibility. He's got good discipline, and that's only going to increase. And I'm really looking forward to him taking over second base for us. And then he's got a better arm than Nick Gonzalez, so he can move to third or short, that kind of thing, depending on where we go with all of this. Newman's 28 years old. He's going into arbitration. We'll see how he does this year, if he's going to get arbitration. I say he probably would. I like Kevin Newman. And Marcano, it all depends. Marcano, depending on how Nick Gonzalez comes along, another one of our A-rated prospects. Got some damn good power on him. But he strikes out way too much right now. And then we got Michael Escato. He's from Dominican, so that is a soft C. Escato. He might develop into something. You never know with these C-rated prospects. And then we have Jinghwa Bae from Korea. I think he's really hit the peak. He's got really no power whatsoever. He's got good visibility and discipline, but I just don't think he's going to get any better. I don't think he's going to get any better. So he's a project. So we'll keep him around. Not a problem. But Marcano and Gonzalez here for second base. Then we got Brian Hayes, who I wish he would hit. I really do. And I wish he had a little bit more power, but you can see from that reaction of 96, his arm is 96, fielding 89. This guy is a defensive gem. I would like it so he's not batting 5th or 6th in our order. He's batting 7th. But for now, I like it. And then we have Chisogo, who I think they're playing at first base in the minors, but we're putting him at third base because he's got a decent arm. 69, nice. So we're putting him at third base to be the backup third baseman because Diego Castillo, I don't have any faith in him, and he's young. Got Hunter Owen here. Jared Trillo, he might turn into something decent. You never know. And then we got Mojico, who's got the power right now, and he's only 19. But again, he's not a highly rated prospect. Then we have O'Neal Cruz, who the Pirates in real life will probably keep, and quite frankly, I see holes in O'Neal Cruz's... In real life, I see holes in O'Neal Cruz's swing. And really, I think this is his ceiling. He's Daniel Vogelback at shortstop. So, but I don't think he's going to get... I don't think he's going to get as many walks as Vogelback usually gets. Vogelback actually has 66 visibility. But that's what I think Cruz is going to be. In real life, I think Cruz is going to be a 210 hitter, but he's going to hit 30-something home runs a year. And he's not great in the reaction. Really, he gets to a lot of balls just because he's 6'7". So his range isn't, his reaction isn't great. He's got a great throwing arm, but it's not very accurate. His speed is good, but again, his speed is because of his gait. And just a shortstop 6'7", that's injury waiting to happen. So with O'Neal Cruz, I think the real life Pirates are going to keep him around way too long. But for us, as we're going to try to trade O'Neal Cruz if he starts hitting those home runs and hitting 212. Some team will take him just because of his power. And right now his power is 68 against righties, 62 against lefties. You can see his contact is just horrible. His vision's 54, which I think is a little high. But for me, I really want Leover Perguero. That's how you say it. Perguero. I don't know how you say his first name. Leover. I think it's Leover. And it's Perguero. This is the guy I really want as my shortstop. Good defensively, all that kind of stuff. And hoping he's got a potential, hoping he develops really, really well. We do have Jose Rondon, a veteran, that is very good defensive, very decently defensively. Ho Park, I think this is his limit. I don't think he's not gonna get any better. And then Rodolfo Castro, I think he might get better. And he's pretty decently defensively all around. And he's got some pop, and he's a switch hitter. So I think O'Neal Cruz is one of those things that, unlike past prospects like Austin Meadows and Garrett Cole, that they traded away, where, man, you should have kept those guys. O'Neal Cruz is the one where I think the real-life Pirates are going to keep him, but they should trade him. And Brian Hayes, you could move him to shortstop. I think you could move him to shortstop without a problem. And he'd still be like high 80s when it comes to reaction. But yeah, O'Neal Cruz is just one of these guys, one of the guys that the real-life Pirates are high on, and all of Major League Baseball is high on, but I am not so high on him. Ben Gamel. Got some good contact and I think some good discipline. Yeah, he's got 80 discipline. And I think he's just going to be a good 270 hitter atop the order. I like these kind of guys atop the order. Then you have Greg Allen, which I like the guy. But he's not great when he goes into center field or right field. He's a left fielder. He's one of those guys that just... he's a pinch runner, I guess you can say. He's got decent contact, but nothing else. Got Matt Frazier here. Who's on our 40-man roster for some reason. But... hey, whatever. I thought Blil Madris would be on our 40-man roster, but I guess it's Matt Frazier. We'll see how he does, Matt Frazier. Then we have Jake Marisnak, another cheap. Wow, he's not so cheap. $1.5 million. I don't think he's going to stick around. But he's good. He's very good defensively. He's got some good speed. Brian Reynolds is our man. We're going to keep him around as long as we can. Quite frankly, he's got arbitration, but quite frankly, when free agency time comes for Brian Reynolds, I think he's going to be like many ball players and say, I want out of Pittsburgh. And we got nobody else special in the minor leagues. Oh, look, we got that guy. Was our shortstop in the Orioles series, but now he's a 20-year-old center fielder who's basically just a defensive guy. Yeah, just defensive. And then we have like a whole bunch of question marks in right field. Is it going to be Swaggerty? Is it going to be Sawinski? I forgot where Sawinski came over from. Sawinski came over from one of these batshit insane Pirates trades. Oh, I think he came from the Marte trade. Marte to the Diamondbacks. I think that's. And then we have Calvin Mitchell. I'm hoping he does well, and then maybe gets into that B potential, because his vision is 96. This guy is not a strikeout guy. This guy puts it into play. He's got home run power. He's got good contact. He's only 23. This is the guy I would like to see become our right fielder. And then we got Lonnie White, who's pretty decent already. And he's only 19, and so he can go from a C to B. So we hope that's the case. So that's our Pirates thing. And we're just going to go through, do some highlights of our first spring training game, and then we're going to sim a bit, and we will come back in a short time.
Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us. Spring training baseball coming your way. It's the Expos going up against the Pittsburgh Pirates. All right, we'll be back to get this one started after this. Just a little bit away from first pitch. On the hill here today, Roansy Contreras.
Well, he's got great stuff, but what makes his stuff even better is his delivery. Hides the ball for a very long time, high leg kick, and by the time the hitter sees it, it's right on top of him.
So just about set. Here's a speed threat. Randy Arozarena. And a pitch. That's in there, and that's how this game gets started.
First pitch, 2:05.
Swing and a ball popped up. Van Meter makes the catch, and there's one away. We go to the bottom of the first, and today's starting pitcher, Tyler Glasnow.
Well, the key for him usually centers around his ability to command all four of his pitches. He can get by with three if one isn't working, but it becomes a little tougher to keep hitters guessing, especially when you start to get through the second and third time through the order. So we'll see how he incorporates all of his stuff into this one.
Bottom of the first, here's the left fielder, Ben Gamble.
For the Pirates.
It's amazing we get a chance to talk
fielder,
to a lot of opposing managers. This guy scares managers on the other team as much as anyone.
And he gets to fly beneath the radar with the other more recognizable names in this lineup.
Next offering is in for a strike.
Goodness, I think he just took the best pitch he's going to see in this at bat. You don't get many like that in that location. I don't know if you take that pitch against any pitcher out there in the mound.
And that one is lifted in the air. Kiermaier racing over to make the catch.
The third
Yandy
baseman,
Diaz
number
now.
2, Yandy Diaz.
Line, and that's a base hit.
Didn't take long to get a result for that at bat. Nice job of driving that pitch the other way on a line. You know, hitters, they take so many reps in the cages working on going to the opposite field.
Oh, now this is blasted. Way back there. On its way. Gone. Mike Zunino pops one out of here. And they throw a pair on the board. It's 2-0. He ambushed him right there, Siggy.
Yeah, swinging on that first pitch, and I think losing one over the fence is exactly what he had in mind as well. Time you rip a line drive the other way, you feel really good about what you did.
Arozarena on the move. Pulls it down, and there's 2 gone. Now a throw to first, and he won't get back in time. It's a double play. We move on to the bottom of inning number 3. One out to right, and that'll get down for a hit. Choi around third. He scores, and they lead by 2. Pulls into second. That's an RBI double.
2 consecutive base hits for these guys here. Just a cookie down the middle. I mean, those are the ones you dream about. Ones in the cage, you're just hoping you get in the ball game. Right down the middle, not a whole lot of velocity, right on top of it.
First pitch, not close.
When the skipper calls down to the bullpen, he's expecting the guy to come in and get outs. So far, not getting what he was hoping for.
The pitch. That one missed. Now 3-0. Appears they're working around him with the base open, Singy.
Well, you know, these 2-0 counts, Boo, they're just not what they used to be. And we sound like old guys when I say that. But ultimately, this is a strategic game, and you expect to see this type of approach by the pitcher in this situation.
How big a deal is that walk?
I don't think it's a big deal, because if you pitch to the previous hitter with the power he has, you can hit a home run. I think it was a calculated walk. We'll see how it pays off here.
1 out. Runners at first and second. Ground ball to the right side. Oh, and it hits the base. No play. That's an infield single.
Hey, whatever works, right? Doesn't have to be impressive. Just a little roller to the pull side, definitely out in front of the pitch away, but it wasn't one the defense could make a play on. Now the base is loaded. Big opportunity for them to break this game open.
And the 1-0. There's the swing and a miss. Next offering misses, and a count 2-1.
Look, in situations like these, the air can get really thin up there at the plate. Got to find a way to breathe and slow everything down.
Swing and a miss, and now 2-2.
Not sure exactly what he was thinking there. Good sinker ball pitcher goes with the fastball in a double play situation when he needs something on the ground.
Next one misses, and that's ball 3.
Well, he's so good about trying to drive the ball to the opposite field gap in these situations. If he takes that approach, he could bust this game wide open.
Frazier pulls that one down. Runner tagging from third. The throw is offline, and he's in to score. And they lead by 3.
Well, he'll take the sac fly on the mound right there. Bases loaded. I mean, this is a high leverage situation. And if you can limit the other team, you're doing pretty good work. See if he can get this next out.
Bounce to the left side. And that is that. To the bottom of the 6th inning. The Expos leading this one 4-1.
Ryan Reynolds.
And the pitch. This one squared up down the left field line. If it's fair, it's gone. It's fair, and it is gone. Ryan Reynolds leaves the yard, and they inch closer. It's 4-2. That was classic.
Absolutely, no doubt off the bat. Welcome to the game. First pitch out of the bullpen, a tough one. You know, he's just trying to get one in there for a strike. And on the other side, as a hitter, it's a great time to be aggressive and let it fly. It's not what they were looking for when they turned to him, but now he's got to find a way to reset. We can see him muscle up a little bit. He's trying to hit the ball a mile. Trying to make sure that he stays within himself so those mechanics can allow him.
Swing and a miss, and he is down on strikes for the 3rd straight at bat. And look out, as that one ran in and got him. He had him 1-2, and he ends up hitting him with a pitch.
Well, he's kind of backed himself into a corner, and I'm sure starting to feel the pressure right now. We'll see if he can bear down and get out of this one and prevent that run from scoring.
Base hit, 1 run is in. Not in time, he's safe.
With the bases juiced, he refused to get pull happy. He stayed within himself, drove the ball to center field. That'll get across the line.
Here's Mike Zunino. The pitch. And that one in the air center field. Base hit, 1 run in already. Another scores. 2 runs in on the play, and the lead is up to 5.
Back-to-backs.
Left-hand hitter waits. And there he goes. Swing and a miss. Zunino throw. Got him.
Not a fast runner on the base pass, so this kind of looks like it was a hit-and-run call from the dugout. Got to make contact some way or somehow, because that guy's not going to be able to steal second base and be safe.
Just 1 strike away. And down on strikes he goes. That's the ball game.
Winning never gets old, but it's also important to come out and play with some level of a fear of failure. That's what brings out the best, knowing that if I don't bring it today, We can
Fans are
lose,
finalized
and nobody
score.
likes to lose,
First
especially when
for
you
the
work this
victorious
hard to play at
visiting
this
team.
level.
7
Nice win
runs
today.
on 12
7-2 your final here
No
today.
errors. They
For
left
Chris
12
Singleton and our entire outstanding crew here at MLB The Show,
For the
I'm
Pirates,
John
2
Shambi
runs,
saying
6
so
hits,
long.
No errors. They left 7 men on base. Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 14 minutes. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon. And we remind you to please drive home safely.
Okay, so let's look at our statistics here. We got Vogel back. He's got 5 dingers. Boy, 227 on base percentage. But the slugging, 408. Good Lord. Only 4 walks, 20 Ks, only 1 double. Yeah, he's going to do better if we can turn him around and trade him. Brian Reynolds, our best hitter. He's got 8 dingers, 345 on base percentage, OPS over 1, 7 walks, 17 Ks, 5 doubles, a triple. All right, so that works. Brian Hayes, this is a pretty good surprise. He's got 5 homers. He's got a stolen base, 284 on base percentage. So that means, yeah, only 3 walks, but 18 Ks. Not the best. Chavez is a surprise here. 4 homers. He's got 2 stolen bases. But all of his on-base percentage, that's all batting average. So no walks and 15 Ks with 4 doubles there. Gamble, 3 homers, 2 stolen bases, 298 on base percentage. But he's got 27 strikeouts and only 3 walks in 28 games. That's not good at all. Swaggerty, who started off, as you can see in our first game, started off 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. Turned it around in spring training. He has 3 homers. 9 walks and 27 Ks with 6 doubles and 2 triples. So it looks like he will start off as our right fielder. Greg Allen, not so great. Only has 26 at-bats in 28 games, though. 2 stolen bases, but he's got 3 walks and only 5 Ks. So chalk it up to small sample size for that 154. Van Meter, however, absolutely wretched. 162. Has 4 walks, and even though he's not hitting for well, he's got 3 doubles out of those 11 hits. And a home run. Matt Frazier, we didn't think he was going to do too much, but he does have 2 homers and 2 walks and 5 Ks with a double. So it looks like he might he might be pretty darn good down the line. Suits, I can never say his name. Sugo. I try to not say the T, but I know that people do say the T in his name. But he is what we thought he was going to be. He's minor league filler. Marcano, not good. So he's a long way off. I'm really worried about him starting in AAA, to be quite frank. But we'll see how he does. Kevin Newman's a huge disappointment. Bat 136, and he's going to be our starting shortstop because Cruz is out for maybe the first week of the season. Not a bad injury. Just he'll be out for the first 4 games or so. Hoy Park, 214. Again, he is what we thought, but He's got 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. Marzniak, going to be our 4th outfielder. Greg Allen. Greg Allen's there for like pinch running, pinch hitting duties if necessary, but Marzniak is the guy that is going to get the bulk of the duty in center and right field when those guys need a break. Roberto Perez has 3 homers and 17 RBI. But he's there because he's a defensive catcher. He's a great defensive catcher. Probably one of the best in the league. Michael Perez, doing okay. Yeah, that 2 home runs is shocking. But, yeah, we got our backup catcher. Knapp, of course, is filler. Cruz did okay. 241. Didn't hit a homer, though. Had a stolen base. Struck out a lot. Only 2 walks. Sawinski as a surprise. He might get a quick call up if need be. If one of our outfielders is hurt, he'll come up before Frazier. And then Castro, not so good. For our pitchers, not happy with Brubaker, not with that whip. Oh boy. That's going to be something. Zach Thompson doesn't have an ERA, but 7 walks and only 5 Ks. Keller is nice. 1.17 whip, 8 walks to 21 Ks in 23 innings. I like it. So I have this bright little spot that I'm thinking of here. Stratton, not so good, but I think he's 31. 2.7. So yeah, he's one of our starters. 13 walks. Oh God. Underwood 9 walks. I told you our bullpen's going to be the disaster of us. Bryce Wilson. He's only got like elbow tightness, but I might send him down. Banda did pretty darn good, so he's our lefty specialist. Hembry, I mean, for him, this is pretty much shocking. I thought he would be like 5 walks, 6 Ks. Chase DeJong, our best reliever. Okay, didn't really play much. Aaron Fletcher. We could probably send him down. Chase. Hembry making 2.1. Jiminy Christmas. Quintana, a little disappointing in spring training. Not horribly, but I think he gave up a little bit too much. Yeah, 7 home runs allowed. That's disturbing. De Los Santos, young guy, not going to really be anything. Krisky. Krisky may start in the big league. Dylan Peters didn't do so bad. Some spot starts and relieving. Bryce was pretty darn good. Huh. Ujour, no. Howard, no. Bednar, okay. I think he only blew one thing. Will Crow, great. That's great. .63 whip, only 1 walk and 7 Ks in 8 innings. And Ronzi. We didn't want to use him too much. I think I took him out of the rotation quickly. Just wanted him to get a little feel for stuff. Didn't want to overpitch him because he is young. I know it doesn't make any difference in the game, but in my little mind and role-playing this, yeah. I actually want to look at the home runs allowed. Yeah, Brubaker. Wilson, another one. Ujour. Underwood, don't like that at all. He's not supposed to give up home runs. Well, so that's it. I mean, we got a hidden gem here in Krisky, who I think will start with the big league club. No real big surprises in the position players. I mean, Sawinski is a little bit of a surprise, but again, that's not a big sample size, 16 at bats. But I would say Frazier is a pretty good surprise considering how young he's 20. Well, he's not young. He's 24. So we got two outfielders that we could call up. A lot of disappointments, not any really good surprises. A lot of disappointments. So we'll see how that goes. So thank you for joining me. Next time we come aboard here, we will be in the first game of the season. Thanks for joining me. Get up my interlawn.